What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. This your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, Sirski. Hello, somebody. All right, so today's video, well, this is like the third video. Second, third? Maybe the third. I think one of them got blocked. But anyway, we have D.L. Hughley hits 50 Cent with Zohran Mamdani. Truth. America is doomed now. That's the New York's newest governor, who's promised all these things about free bus rides, rent holds, and everything goes. He promised a lot to the New York state that I feel like it's going south now. He's not holding up to his word. And the New Yorkians, everybody in New York is furious at this guy, bro. Furious. Even Trump got smoked with him, the Mamdani guy. So we're here for it, man. Let's get to it. Spicy.
So Zohran Mamdani just became the first Muslim mayor of New York City. And 50 Cent, who is a New York native, is not too happy about that. In fact, he just posted this on his Instagram, saying, "Rest in peace to New York City."
And my job as someone who believes deeply in the public sector is to ensure that we're delivering public excellence. And that means every dollar that we raise, I want to be able to prove to you that it's every dollar that's being well spent. That's the relationship there. And I do.
And like Marvin said, that too was a lie.
I have to say, even though we have a disagreement on tax policy, every time I get a death threat, I still listen to many men.
And Republicans
wow,
actively.
Bro, did he just say every time he get a death threat, he still listens to a 50 Cent song, Many Men? Is that what he said?
Policy. Every time I get a death threat, I still listen to many men.
And Republicans.
Told you, bro. This dude crazy.
Actively protect pedophiles.
D.L. Hughley just went off on 50 Cent, and honestly, he didn't lie. D.L. is saying he's tired of seeing rich celebrities talk like they're still for the people, but the second someone pushes a policy that might actually help regular folks, they panic. So as you all probably know by now, Zohran Mamdani has been elected the new mayor of NYC, but the guy hasn't even moved into City Hall yet, and 50 Cent is already acting like New York's finished. And now D.L. is out here sending warning shots to 50 and exposing him for the fake he is. So let's get into what went down and why 50 Cent's reaction sparked all this backlash to the point to where Mamdani himself had to address it.
The working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands.
So it started after Zohran Mamdani made history as New York City's new mayor, the city's first Muslim mayor, and one of the most progressive candidates the city's ever elected. He ran on a platform about rent freezes, affordable housing, and free public transit, basically making life easier for working people instead of catering to the rich. And that last part is why 50 Cent is now throwing a fit. After Mamdani's win, 50 decided to jump online talking about how New Yorkers are done. 50 shared an image of a tombstone that read "R.I.P. NYC" with the city's year of death as 2025. After that, he shared a photo of him having dinner with his homies and captioned it, "Escape from New York. Hit the road. All roads lead to Shreveport." By the way, Shreveport is a city in northwestern Louisiana where 50 Cent is building a major entertainment and film production hub through his company G-Unit Film and Television. He's leased studio space, announced a $50 million entertainment district, and is branding Shreveport as the new center of his business empire. Basically telling people that if they want to work with him or be part of his growing projects, everything now leads to Shreveport. So why is he so mad about Mamdani's win? Mamdani's plan is to raise the income tax by 2% for people making over $1 million a year, bumping up the corporate tax rate to around 11.5%, and fixing that broken property tax system that lets billionaire penthouses cost less than homes in the Bronx. Mamdani even talked about shifting some of the tax burden from working class neighborhoods to high-end spots like Central Park South, the ones where luxury condos get sweetheart deals while outer borough homeowners get squeezed. And that's why 50 Cent is out here throwing a tantrum and acting like the city has just died. But y'all, people in the comments chewed him up so bad over this. There were so many sellout comments and people saying 50 is a hypocrite who forgot where he came from. Someone wrote, "Guy who sold crack to his community suddenly cares about their well-being." Another follower reminded 50 that when he was 9 times, his hospital bill was paid paid for by taxpayer-funded programs. Someone else said, your grandma was on food stamps. And another fan wrote, won't be long before he's in Tel Aviv kissing the wall, LOL. And that's when DL Hughley decided to send a message to 50. DL said, it's wild to see people like 50 who came from the struggle now crying over policies designed to help the same folks they used to be. And he pointed out all these rich celebs had nothing to say about Trump.
That's the truth right there, bro. That's the truth, man. They say that money is the root of all evil. Come on now. 50, you come from some of the hardest, roughest times growing up, boo-boo. Bro, how you gonna have a problem with what the man trying to do for the people that's, you know, less fortunate than people like you, 50? Come on, bro. Let's keep it 1,000, man.
Cutting food stamps and using hunger as a political weapon, but now they want to fearmonger and tell New Yorkers Mamdani is the one they should be afraid of.
Here's what's interesting to me. So Mamdani is going to be the new mayor of New York, 34-year-old kid. Like I said, I live in New York. I couldn't vote in that election, but if I could, it would have been an easy choice. But here's what I really don't understand. The man who is actively trying to use hunger to get his political way, saying that people won't have food unless they do his political bidding, is saying that the man who wants to make rent cheaper, public transportation cheaper, and food cheaper is the one who is ruining America. So the man who wants to starve you to get what he wants thinks that the dude who wants to feed you, house you, and get you make you able to get around cheaper is the horrible one. That tells you everything you need to know about where we are.
And now Mamdani even decided to clap back at 50 Cent and set the record straight on his tax policy. In response to 50 Cent saying he would pay him $285,750 to leave NYC, Mamdani laughed it off and said 50 clearly doesn't understand how taxing the 1% earners would benefit everyone.
What I would say to you, 50, if you are indeed watching, or anyone else who's watching this show, is I continue to think that having the top 1% of New York City, or making more than $1 million a year, having them pay 2% more for an economic agenda that would transform every New Yorker's life, including their own, is something that is worthwhile. I have to say, even though we have a disagreement on tax policy, every time I get a death threat, I still listen to Many Men. It's true.
Well, you take Many Men for motivation. I was going to say your answer sounds a little bit like clickety clank, the money goes into my piggy bank.
Oh.
And if we had more time, we'd do more 50.
But 50 is...
bro, he got called out just now, bro. Clickety clack, my money goes into my piggy. That's another 50 Cent hit right there, bro. That was pretty dope how my man came back with that one.
The Many Men.
It's true. Well, you take Many Men for motivation. I was going to say your answer sounds a little bit like clickety clank, the money goes into my piggy bank.
Wow.
And if we had more time, we'd do more 50.
But 50 is still mad about those taxes. And he later shared a clip of Mamdani's response on his IG and wrote in the caption, I think his intentions are good, but his tax plan is going to run the big money out of the city. And if he defunds the police, they are going to purge. All roads lead to Shreveport. Now let's unpack this, because what 50 wrote there is a classic scare tactic. First off, rich people threatening to leave every time someone mentions higher taxes is the oldest bluff in the book. New York's been hearing that since the 70s. But the truth is, they almost never leave because they know that this city is where the money is. Let me give you an example. Bill Ackman, a billionaire hedge fund guy, spent months attacking Zohran Mamdani during the campaign, and not just disagreeing on policy. He went low. He shared racist posts about Mamdani, painted him like some radical threat to the city, and told everyone he'd pack up and move to Florida if Mamdani ever won. But check this out. The second Mamdani was announced as the winner, Ackman tweeted this: Zohran Mamdani, congrats on the win. Now you have a big responsibility. If I can help NYC, just let me know what I can do. You can leave like you said you would. So what happened to moving to Florida? All of a sudden, Ackman wants to help Mamdani run New York? Well, here's what had happened. It was never about leaving. It was about trying to scare people before the election. That's what the rich do every time the balance of power shifts even a little. They start talking about fleeing, pretending the economy's gonna collapse, and acting like they're victims. But the truth is, these billionaires don't actually want to leave New York. York. This is where their companies are, where the deals get made, and where the investors live. They can't replicate that in Florida or Louisiana, no matter how low the taxes are. So instead, they bluff, hoping to pressure politicians into backing down. And when that doesn't work, they flip it, play nice, and act like they were team players all along. And this whole thing with Ackman and 50 Cent proves the same point. When you threaten even a fraction of their wealth, they'll spread fear and pretend like they care about working class people. But they'll still be here and stay richer than ever. Now, as for that second part, where 50 Cent said Mamdani will defund the police, well, if 50 actually paid attention to Mamdani's policy, he never talked about completely defunding law enforcement. He talked about rebalancing the budget, putting more into housing, mental health, and community programs instead of pouring millions into a department that still can't stop crime from happening. That's not a purge. That's common sense. Cities that invest in people instead of punishment have less crime, not more. And that's a fact. So while 50's whole post plays into fear that the rich will flee and the city will collapse, that fear only serves the people at the top. Because while regular New Yorkers are worried about paying rent and catching the train, 50's worried about a tax hike he can easily afford from his house in Houston. And that's the disconnect DL Hughley was talking about. The moment when someone who built their name on get rich or die trying suddenly acts like the problem is poor people trying to live. So at the end of the day, this whole thing isn't just about 50 Cent or one billionaire having a tantrum. It's about a pattern. Rich folks trying to scare the rest of us into believing that progress is dangerous. Mamdani's talking about making life better for regular people. And somehow that's got them terrified. Meanwhile, the same people crying RIP New York aren't going anywhere. They're still cashing checks off the same city they claim is finished. Well, now let me hear what you think about all this.
Wow, bro. 50 used a sap sucker this time, 50. Dang, bro. That just like DL Hughley said, you got one somebody who's trying to help the people. You got another somebody who's not trying to help the people. How can you look at the one that's trying to help the people wrong and crazy? Now that's diabolical right there. 50 need to go sit down somewhere. I don't really personally know the Mamdani, whatever his damn name is, guy. I wasn't keeping up with it, and neither I'm from New York City, so I'm just now kind of really tuning in on it. But if what he's saying is correct, that's a great thing for the city, for the state of New York, with the rent freeze and the transportation and everything. Though that'll be fire, bro. I hope it get done at a rapid pace, but I also hope it be right and fair across the boards.